This video is a complete guide on how to restore your WordPress website even if you don't have a backup, aren't sure whether you have a backup or not, or you have a backup but you need help restoring it using a manual method. The solutions for each of these are marked in the chapters below, so you can easily go to your issue and see the solution. If you aren't sure whether you have a backup or not, firstly, don't worry. Most plugins store backups in your cloud storage. So log into your cloud storage and search for a file ending with .zip or .wordpress. If you found a file like this, awesome! Your life will be much easier now. So go over to the chapter where we show you how to restore a backup. If you don't find a file here, no problem. I'll still show you 2 ways to restore a site without a backup. Just go to the last chapter in this video. If you cannot open your WordPress dashboard, then most backup plugins can't help you restore your site because they don't have an external dashboard that you can use. Only Blogvault has an external dashboard like this. So if you had a backup with it, you can go there and restore your site with a click like this. If you have a backup stuck in some other plugin, contact the customer support for help. Otherwise, if you want a faster solution, then check the chapter where we're using a manual restoring method, or check the last chapter where I'll show you how to restore a site without a backup. Now, if you have a backup, you might be struggling with one or many issues in restoring it. Like your backup could be sitting in your cloud storage as a file and you don't know the best steps to do next. Or the overall process of restoring is looking much more complicated than you initially thought. Or your backup plugin actually took an incomplete or corrupt backup, so your site keeps crashing when you try to restore it. There's many such issues that you could have run into. I'll now share the step-by-step process of the 3 main methods you can use to restore your site. First, let me show you how to restore a backup by using a backup plugin. The 3 most popular options are Updraftplus, Backup Buddy, and the people's champion Blogvault. This is the approximate time it takes to restore a site with each of them, and here is a table with all the features compared. First, I'll show you how to restore a site using Updraftplus, whether you have an Updraftplus backup or you just have a random backup file and you need to restore your site. First, let's go to our WordPress dashboard. From here, navigate to Settings, then click on Updraftplus Backups. This will open the Updraftplus settings page. If you already have Updraftplus installed and have previously created backups, you can then click on the Restore button, and this will open the Existing Backups tab, where you will see a record of your backups. Now, if you hadn't made a backup with Updraftplus before and don't see your backup here like this, then don't worry. We will import your backup files into Updraftplus. So click on Upload Backup Files and select it. Now this is the backup file on my computer which I downloaded from my Google Drive folder earlier. So you can also download it from whichever cloud storage service it was in, and select it and upload it. Once it's uploaded, you should see a backup under Existing Backups like this. Now go to the Actions column and click the Restore button for the backup you want to restore. A pop-up will appear with a list of options to restore. Select whichever parts of the backup that you need to restore. For now, I'll select all. Now Updraftplus will start analyzing the files that you've uploaded. Once this is done, you will receive a confirmation message, and if there have been any problems, then you will see a warning here. Now, if your backup is corrupted or incomplete, then you might get stuck here and might not be able to restore your site. So you should go to the next chapter where I'll show you how to restore a site without a backup. In this chapter, we'll see what to do next if you don't get an error message and your backup has basically uploaded to Updraft. So this is the next box that you will see once the backup has uploaded, and then click Restore. Now Updraftplus will then run the restoration. Now this is where things get a little bit risky. Even the official Updraftplus blog, which I'll add here, is not confident that after all these steps, your site will actually restore. If you see here, it literally says, hopefully now your site will finish restoring. And in case of any issue, just try it again or restore the backup manually. So they're basically admitting here what the entire WordPress industry already kind of knows. Updraftplus backups are often incomplete and either restore the site partially or not at all. This is why I've recommended Blogvault to you, because it guarantees 100% restore every time. So if this Updraftplus method didn't work for you, then you should try restoring a web host or manual backup next. So just use the chapters below and go there. Now in Backup Buddy, first you need to gather 4 important things. Otherwise you won't be able to restore your site. You need to get your FTP or SFTP credentials from your web hosting dashboard. You need to know how to use PHPMyAdmin to create a new database. You'll need to download an import buddy file and you'll need a complete backup zip folder. If your head is already spinning with all these technical terms, hold on, I'll show you something even funnier. So this is the Backup Buddy website, and this is their blog for how to restore a website using their backup. Look at the crazy number of steps here. And if you click, each of these steps is hundreds of words. Now just look at this. I'm just gonna scroll. These are all steps. It's never ending. Oh my God. Okay, if you paid for Backup Buddy and have a backup with it, my heart goes out to you. I'll put the main steps on the screen here, and in the description below, I'll link their blog. So all the best of luck. I don't know. Now it's time to discuss the easiest and most reliable backup plugin in this list, which is Blogvault. It's a paid plugin, but in the description, I've added a link for a free trial. So let's go to the Blogvault website, log in with your credentials, and then you'll see this dashboard with your site. So click on your site, then go here to backups, then hit test restore. This will help you check whether the latest backup that you have is of the broken site or if it's a good backup that you can use. So in 99% cases, everything works out, and you can just then go back and hit restore. That's it. Really, it's done. Your site is back up. Even if in the small chance that your site shows any type of error, you can just go here, then go here, select any backup from this list, because Blogvault offers unlimited storage. So select any backup you want, and you can restore your site using it. And if you come back to the dashboard, there's many other cool features here as well, like being able to add security, add speed increases, being able to update your plugins. So you can explore these and activate the add-ons you want, or check the other features like uptime monitoring, and it's great. So check the link in description and you can go get a free trial. Now, most web hosts have a paid option to take a backup for you. But in most cases, you probably either don't have this backup, or if you do have it and then you try to restore it, you will get stuck because they'll make you contact them and then assign a technician for your case, all of which can end up taking a few hours or a few days. Now, if you don't have a web host backup, you can still use your web host to upload a backup file and then restore your site. I'll show you how to do this in the manual backup method in the next section. Even if you don't have a backup, you can still use your web host to restore your site, because you can then download a backup of your site from an internet archive called the Wayback Machine. I'll show you how to do that in the last chapter, where you restore a site without a backup. Now, I must warn you, restoring your website manually is risky because there's many things that can go wrong in a lengthy process like this. So it's best that from next time you use an easy plugin like Blogvault to get instant restores, like I showed you earlier in this video. And there's a link in the description for a free trial. For now, please only try this method if you already tried everything else and this is your last resort. Now, in this manual method, we'll be taking a backup file from your computer and uploading it to your web host using Cpanel. And then this will restore your site. Most popular web hosts have Cpanel, but there are also managed web hosts where Cpanel is not there. Don't worry, some managed web hosts do give an option to directly restore your site in just a few steps. So I'll first show you that, and then after that, I'll show you the Cpanel method to restore your site. So go to the web host site and then log in with your credentials like this. Now select your website. In the menu list, you'll see an option of backups. Now you need to select the backup version that you want to restore and click here, and it will start restoring your site. If your web host does not have the option to restore a backup directly, then don't worry, just download the backup file and then you can use whatever method your managed web host allows to upload this backup file and then restore your site. Now I'll show you how to use Cpanel to upload a backup file from your computer to your web host, which will then restore your site. Your website has two parts, database and files. So we'll restore both of them one by one. First, we need to have your backup files downloaded on your computer like this from Google Drive or wherever else you had stored it. Now open your browser and type this URL. Then add your Cpanel credentials like this and log in. Now come back to your desktop. This is your backup file, which is generally a zip file. So we'll click on it and then click here to extract the contents. After that, open the extracted folder. Now you will see this folder here, which is your database folder. So drag and drop it outside because we will then upload it separately. And this is the new folder but it does not have the database folder anymore because that's separate. So we're going to right click and turn it back into a zip file. Now let's come back to our desktop. Now keep this database folder the way it is and move this older zip folder into some other location so that you don't get confused during this process. Then we're going to open a browser and come back to Cpanel and click on File Manager here. Now scroll till you find the root folder of your domain, which is generally the public_HTML folder, and then click on it, then click Upload. Then go to Desktop and select the new backup zip file, which doesn't have the database folder. Select it and upload. Once it's uploaded, right click and select Extract. Now you'll see a bunch of files here. You need to go here now and search for the htaccess file because that's very important, and sometimes in some web hosts it doesn't extract here. So in case you don't find the file here, the front page of your site and some of the links will not work properly. So if your htaccess file is not here, you will go to your desktop, then go to the backup folder. Now in this new folder, we will go and find the htaccess file and bring it out and keep it separately. Then we'll go back to our browser, click Upload, then select the htaccess file and upload it. Now go back to Cpanel, then go to MySQL databases. This type of page will open for you. Now click on Create New Database here, and please name it something easy because you're going to need it later. Then click here. Now the database has been created, as you can see here. So scroll to this section and we'll now add a new user. So click here. Now add an easy username and password, and please make sure you remember it because you will need it for the next steps of the process. After you're done, click here. Now go here and we will add this user to the new database by clicking here, and make sure this user has all the privileges like this. Then select Make Changes. Now go back to Cpanel and click on phpMyAdmin. First go to the left panel and go to the new database we created and click on it to select it. Then go here and click Import. Now click on this Browse button here. Now we'll go back to our desktop. Remember we took out this database folder earlier and kept it separate? We'll click on it, go inside, and then find this .sql file because this is your database file. So click here to upload it. Alright, one final step left. We need to make sure this new database is accessible to WordPress. So come back here, then go to File Manager. Now you have to search a little bit until you find the wp-config.php file. Once you find it, right click and select Edit. Now scroll here until you come to this section. Now we need to change the database name, the database username, and the database password here. Remember we had said this earlier while we were making a new database. So let's first change the database name like this. Then we'll change the database username. And finally we'll change the database password. Now save changes. And that's it. Your site should be restored now. Woo! But wait. Even if everything went right, this method of restoring a site is full of risks, and your restored site might still be missing a few things. The only way to get 100% full restore every single time is to use Blogvault, because in this video, I've already shown you step by step how lengthy and unreliable the other popular backup plugins are. Now, before you doubt if I'm being biased, here's a feature by feature comparison, and I'll let that talk for itself. Because yes, my team has built Blogvault, and of course I want more customers. But if my product actually solves your pain point in the best way, then I'll 100% show it to you. And I think it's a win-win situation for both of us. So if you're interested, you can get a free trial using the link in the description. Okay, if your backup file is corrupted or not working, or you just don't have a backup only, then this chapter will help you restore a site without a backup. There's 2 easy tricks to do this, but as you can imagine, they aren't as reliable as restoring from a proper backup. There's a chance you may only get 70 to 80% of your site back, but hey, 70% is better than 0%, right? So let's begin. Did you know that search engines such as Google or Bing store a cached version or a copy of your site? We can actually use this to restore your site. So open your browser and then type this URL. I'll add it to the description as well, so you can copy paste it from there. Now in this part, replace this with your own site URL like this, then press enter. Now this type of page should open up. This is the cached version or a copy of your site that is stored in Google servers. So right click here and click view source code, and you'll see the source code of the site. Now we will use this code to restore your site. Before I show you how to do that, first let me show you how to get a cached copy of your site from Bing as well, because the method there is different. So we'll launch the Bing browser, then open Google search and search for your website. Now right next to your site, you should see this type of icon. Click on it and select cached. Now you'll be able to see your cached website, and click here, and then you'll see the source code of your site. So I'll put Chrome's window right next to this, and as you can see, you can now see the source code from both of these places, and you can pick any of these places to copy it from. So I'll go to Chrome, I'll make this window bigger, select all the text, right click, copy it. Now let's come back to our web host dashboard. Now if you go to the site, this is the one that we're trying to restore. Now if you go here, you can see that WordPress is installed here. We need to uninstall WordPress and then install it again. So go here, and click here, then click here to remove WordPress. Then we'll go here and click here, then click here to install WordPress again. Open WordPress, go to pages, add new, and then paste the code we copied earlier. Then go and click this button. Now this restore method only restores your homepage, and sometimes it doesn't work. But our next method restores your full site and has a much higher success rate because it uses the internet's largest archive, which is the Wayback Machine. So if this method did work for you, or any method before this has not worked out for you, check out the next one. All right, the final trick for today is to use the Wayback Machine to restore your site. The Wayback Machine is an internet archive, actually the largest archive in the world, and they store a copy of all websites. So there's a chance that there's a copy of your site there as well, though the chances are higher for older sites or sites with higher traffic. So open your browser and type this URL. Don't worry, you can just copy paste it from the description below. Now replace this part with your website URL and click enter, and a calendar like this will open up with green and blue dots for when your site was crawled. So go and click on the latest green dot, and then you'll see a box like this, which you can click on to get your URL and copy it, because then we will use this URL to download your site. So let's open a new tab and type this URL. Now you'll come to this site. This is the Wayback Machine downloader, and this page is the free version, which has a limit of 4 pages. And you can click here to buy the full version, which restores unlimited sites. This video is not sponsored, by the way. This is actually the only good method to restore your website without a backup that I know of, so just letting you know. So I'm going to show you how to use both. First, to use the free version, we're going to go here and paste the URL that we copied before and open advanced options and select any of these options if you need it. Then click here to open the SEO options and select any of these options if you want. Basically, these options will save us a lot of time later on once the site is restored. So you can pick and choose if you want some of these. Once you're done, then you can add your email address here and then click start scraping. Now once this is done, I'm going to go to another tab, open my email, and here you can see the email from the Wayback Machine. Sometimes this can take a few hours to come, so don't worry if it doesn't immediately come into your inbox. Now if I open it, then I can click here and download my website files. Now I'll show you how to restore your website using these backup files that you've downloaded. But before that, let me also show you how to use the premium version, because it might be that you need to restore more than 4 pages. So we're going to come back, and here we're going to click buy now, and then you will see this page. Now you can select one or multiple sites to restore. Then you can paste the URL we copied before, and then you'll see the same advanced options and the same SEO options that we saw before. So you can pick and choose what you want. Then you can add your payment details here and click Pay Now. Now complete the payment. Then you will see this page. And as you can see, the full website is now being sent to our email address. Now let's come back to our email ID. Now, whether you use the free version or the paid version, you would have gotten an email like this where you can download your website files on your computer. Now you have a backup of your site, and then we can use this to restore our site manually using a web host. The process is the same as when we have a backup file and then use our web host Cpanel to upload that file, which I've already showed you in the chapter for the manual restoration. So you can just go back there, follow those steps, and your restoration will be done.